Sometimes bad news can be almost hilarious. Finally, the International Criminal Court is investigating Israel for what it's done, the crimes that it has committed against the Palestinian people. However, there's a bit of a snag. The number of pages of the complaint exceeds the limit that's allowed to be presented. The crimes of Israel are so numerous that it exceeds the amount of pages that the complaint is allowed to be. Like, you see what I mean? This would be almost hilarious if it wasn't such a serious issue. Basically, they're questioning the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court and whether or not they can investigate Israel for the crimes that is carried out in Gaza, the West Bank, etc. The stuff that everybody knows has been going on for decades, the genocide against the Palestinian people. So that is what's up for investigation. Now here's what they very specifically said. The Chamber agrees with the prosecutor that the nature, novelty, and complexity of the issue, that is the jurisdiction of the court, with respect to the situation in Palestine, gives rise to exceptional circumstances. Now, of course, in response to this, the Israeli media have called it an attack upon Jews everywhere, because of course Israel represents Jews everywhere, right? Benjamin Netanyahu calls this an assault on Israel's right to exist, even though that's not what this is about. They're questioning whether or not crimes have been committed against the Palestinian people, namely genocide, which is pretty obviously true. So, of course, they're taking this as an assault on Israel and is therefore anti-Semitism and an assault on all Jews, and particularly the ones who don't stand in solidarity with Israel. But let me give you some specific words. The U.S. government under President Trump has spoken forcefully against the ICC for this travesty, and I urge all of your viewers to do the same and ask for concrete actions, sanctions against the International Court, its officials, its prosecutors, everyone. In other words, they want to harm the ICC for trying to hold them accountable for the crimes that they have committed. If they're so innocent and didn't do anything wrong, what are they afraid of? Now, of course, last month, the International Criminal Court prosecutor Fatou Bensouda stated that there was reasonable basis to investigate Israel for its actions and has requested the court decide whether or not it has the jurisdiction over the Palestinian territories. Now, of course, Israel is not signed up to the International Criminal Court. They're not under their jurisdiction. I mean, that's like saying whether or not the law applies to you. I'd love to be able to do that. There's a lot of things I'd get away with if I could just say the law doesn't apply to me because I never consented to it. Insert libertarian argument here. So, the thing is, the Palestinians are under the jurisdiction. So the victims of the crime are under jurisdiction, but not the perpetrator. So you can see how this can be a rather thorny legal issue. One that will probably let Israel off the hook and continue to commit the genocide that it is, of course, guilty of. Now, it's very questionable the history of the International Criminal Court. Because the problem is that all of the countries that are most notorious for committing crimes don't actually get prosecuted for them. Like Canada, the United States, the UK, Japan, Australia, etc. All the first world senior and junior partners in imperialism. It's pretty much only a place where captured African warlords get prosecuted for their crimes. And of course, if they are a warlord and have committed a crime, they should of course be prosecuted. But the crimes that are a million times worse are just simply let off by these same courts. They have no jurisdiction, or the United States bans people or cancels the visa of anyone trying to get into the United States to investigate the complaints. Like with the people on the southern border who are being held in what are essentially concentration camps, indefinite detention without the necessities of life being provided to them, with their only real crime being their race. So you can see how this is a big thorny issue and why Israel is crying victim over this, as they usually do when anybody criticizes them for, their genocide. So it's going to be very interesting to find out whether or not the International Criminal Court rules that it has jurisdiction over the matter. Morally, Absolutely. Morally, the people of the world have an obligation to do something about the criminal regime of Israel. But as to whether or not any regulatory bodies who are in charge of this kind of thing will do something, well, that's yet to be decided in court. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.